comes when the air is still, a moment between heartbeats. The words leave her lips not with fire, but with ice.
You've changed.
And just like that, the floor gives way. You are falling through the architecture of your own memory, desperately trying to find the moment the shift occurred. The accusation hangs in the room, thick and suffocating. It's not a question, it's a verdict, and you have been found guilty. Your mind becomes a frantic detective. You sift through the evidence of the last few weeks, the last few months. Was it the night you were too tired to talk? The joke that fell flat? You dissect every interaction, every word, every silence. You place your own soul under a microscope, searching for the flaw, the crack, the beginning of the decay she sees so clearly. This feeling, this desperate, confusing guilt is not an accident. It is the intended effect. It is the core of the manipulation. Because here is the brutal truth. When a covert narcissist says, "You've changed," she is not mourning the loss of the man she loved. She is condemning the man who is no longer useful to her. This isn't about love, it's about control. Welcome to the world of narcissistic projection. A psychological defense mechanism where the narcissist unloads their own unwanted traits, feelings, and failures onto someone else. She feels empty, so she accuses you of being distant. She is losing interest, so she accuses you of being cold. She is the one who has changed. Her mask of adoration, so carefully crafted, has begun to slip, and she blames you for noticing. The phrase "you've changed" is her preemptive strike. It's a narrative coup designed to seize control of the story before the relationship's inevitable end. She makes you the villain so she can remain the victim. She makes you the reason so she doesn't have to face her own emptiness. Let's call them Elias and Serafina, story you might know too well. In the beginning, Elias felt like he had found a missing piece of his soul. Serafina mirrored him perfectly. She loved the same obscure films, the same melancholic music. She learned the geography of his mind and built a home there. His needs were her needs. His dreams were her dreams. Or so it seemed. Elias gave everything. He cancelled plans with friends to be with her. He put his own hobbies, his painting, on hold. He became the perfect source of validation. He was a mirror reflecting her desired self back at her. And it was perfect. But a person cannot remain a reflection forever. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, Elias began to reclaim himself. He picked up his paintbrushes again. The smell of turpentine filled his small studio. He was creating something that was his, and his alone. He met a friend for coffee. An old friend. They talked for hours, and for a moment, he remembered the man he was before her. He started saying no. Not often, but sometimes. "No, I can't tonight, I have plans." "No, I don't feel the same way about that film." These were not acts of aggression, they were acts of self-preservation. He was no longer a mirror, he was becoming a person again. And to Serafina, this was the ultimate betrayal. The adoration in her eyes was replaced by a cool, calculating disappointment. The praise was replaced by subtle, cutting remarks. The atmosphere in their twisted, gothic home grew heavy. An unspoken tension, a silent countdown. And then, one evening, as Elias was cleaning his brushes, she stood in the doorway of his studio. She didn't look at his new painting. She didn't look at him. She looked at the space he occupied, as if it were an affront to her. "You've changed," she said. The words were quiet, but they leveled the room. Elias looked at her, confused. He thought, yes, I have. I'm happier. I'm healthier. I'm me again. But he saw no joy in her face, only a cold, hard finality. She wasn't sad that he had changed. She was angry that he had stopped performing. The play was over, and he had walked off stage without her permission. Do you see it now? The change she despises is your healing. It's your recovery. It's the moment you stopped orbiting her and remembered you are your own star. You built a boundary, and she called it a wall. You found your voice, and she called it an attack. You reclaimed your energy, and she called you selfish. This is the final desperate act of a manipulator losing their grip. The accusation is not an observation of your character. It's an admission of their failure to control you. So when you hear those words, "you've changed," do not fall into the trap of self-doubt. Do not put your soul on trial. Recognize the phrase for what it is, a poisoned farewell. A confession wrapped in an accusation. She is telling you that the version of you she could control is gone. She is telling you that her power over you is over. The end she is signaling is not the end of you. It is the end of her illusion. Yes, you have changed, you have grown, you have survived, and that is a change to be celebrated, not condemned.